this Cardassian kid is supposed to be 12 years old. It's obviously a short 25-year-old. It's like, it's a short, they're like, hey, it worked for Nog. We got to just, if you got enough.
It's got enough makeup on. Yeah,
exactly. It could be a 30-year-old dude with kids.
Yeah.
What do we care?
Another person that I thought would be well placed in this episode, Nog, because, once again, it felt like it was our age demographic that they were dealing with.
How great would it have been if Jake and Nog meet this Cardassian kid, and the Cardassian kid kind of tells them the situation, and they're like, oh, that's weird, and he leaves, and Jake and Nog are on opposite sides of that fence. We're like Nog is saying, well, no, Cardassian,
he should stay,
or something like that.
He should stay with his new parents, and I'm saying, well, but that's his father, and
yes,
and
exactly.
That would have been a great little exchange, and like I said, you have an age demographic that's relative to the kids on the show. So you would think that the younger kids on the show would have an access and opportunity to be involved in the storyline. And that's what I felt like was one of the big elements missing. And even when they brought it to the O'Briens, Molly wasn't even featured. So you didn't even see her. It was just,
we didn't see her.
No, it was just talked about it through exposition. Yeah. So they just talked, and today they were over there playing. So we didn't even get that. And I thought it was a perfect opportunity to do something like that. The other thing that actually jumped out at me, which I thought went unanswered in this episode, was the kids that they found at the orphanage on Bajor. When they found those kids and they came out and they were like, are you here to take us? I felt so bad for those kids. And then they just let it go. They're like, all right, no, we're not here for you guys.
It's just another Kaiopaka moment of like, well, what happened to those kids? And they're like, you fill in the blank.
Figure it out. Yeah, something like that.
They lived happily ever after, or they all got slaughtered somewhere in the middle, whatever.
Something. I thought they would give us something that would just say, hey, all right, well, then we need to go back to that camp and get all the kids and clear this mess up, because this has been going on too long or whatever. And, something to that effect I thought was going to happen.
You're right. That's just like 2 lines at the end of the episode. Sisko could say, and I understand that there are a lot of children, or Bashir says, Commander, before we go, I just want to let you know that blah, 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 blah.
We saw other kids there, and we need to find out who they are.
Yeah, and
who
Sisko
their parents
says,
are.
See to it that they're given options to something. And then we go, closed book.
Yeah. Any objections, Dukat? No. And he walks out.
Dukat would say something like, even if I did have objections, would you listen? And the door's already closing on him. They're like that.
Exactly. And that would now check off that box for me of like, poor kids just come out of the thing, and you don't just turn your back and say, all right, well, too bad for you guys. We're only here for the one kid that we got. And all you guys got to deal with it. Some of those kids looked younger than 8, and they were talking about an 8-year time span. So it was like, well, where did these other kids come from, right?
Yeah, or maybe they could have just closed it when they say, "Are you coming to save us?" or something like that. And Garak
we'll be back.
And Garak says, "Are you the son of somebody important?" No. Then why are you talking to me about this?
Then I would have laughed, and it would have been hilarious. And then once again, the mark gets checked off. So I like the way you put a spin on that. Are you the son of somebody important? No.
And of course, Bashir says something like, "You're a jerk," and Garak says, "Thank you, my dear doctor."
Just plain simple Garak. Yeah, they do elongate their lines, and there's a certain way in which the Cardassians speak in this kind of rhythmic way. The melody of it is really intriguing. It draws you in, and it's interesting because it is kind of almost all the Cardassians that I see guest starring, and that's also because they're great actors. So I don't want to take anything away from that and just, put it on the makeup. These are great actors, but there's a way in which they talk, and it's so inviting and it's so grand and dramatic,
if somebody had never seen a Cardassian, but somehow had seen all the episodes with all the other aliens, and they said, "What are Cardassians like?" I'd say they're cunning and sinister like Romulans, but with the eloquence of the Vorta.